everybody, welcome. My name is Sandra. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to do a blue and gold halo eye makeup look today for going out date night. I prepped my face with my Caudalie Beauty Elixir. Next, we're going in with a primer. This is the Milk Makeup Hydrogrip Primer. And I just have to say, if you see me singing, I am listening to music and having the time of my life, so please forgive me. For foundation, I'm using the HD Skin Hydraglow Makeup Foundation by Makeup Forever. And I am using a brush to kind of stipple this all over my face. And I notice that it already is pretty light coverage. It also really does give you that glow that you're looking for. And it is absolutely beautiful. Honestly, when I first put it on my face, I was like, oh, this is way too light. But when I blend it out, it matches with my neck. That's how much my face tanned over summer. And it's only January. So, I mean, that was a while ago. So what I'm doing here now is going in with a sponge that I actually put setting spray on. So my sponge was not pre-dampened. I usually do that, so never go in without that, but that's what happened there. And my cheek looks really pink, but I do go in and cover it up with blush and bronzer later anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So right now, I am spot concealing with my Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer in Light 2.6 Cafe Con Leche. I love this pot concealer because it really lets you pick up just the amount of product you need, and it doesn't allow you to go overboard like you might find in like a wand concealer. So I really like it for that. Brows, I'm using the Rare Beauty Brow Harmony Brow Pencil in Cool Brown. So the only thing I can say about this shade is that it is not cool brown. When I'm looking at my eyebrow right now, it picks up red. So cool brown does not mean that it's an ash color, which I originally assumed. Or maybe it technically should be, and they just got the color wrong. So I'm not too sure what's going on here, but I will not be buying this color again. And I think it was the closest one to my eyebrow color, but my preferred one is still Anastasia Beverly Hills in medium brown. So I'm using the Benefit Brow Gel here just to make sure the color stays in place and that my eyebrows don't like go all crazy. I usually trim my eyebrows down, I just never did it here. For my bronzer and contour, I'm using my Nars Laguna 3 Cream Bronzer. Ever since I got this, I have fallen in love, you guys. Like, I cannot say enough good things. I usually tend to stay away from bronzer unless it's summer, and because I don't want it to look too warm. But this stuff, I don't know, it just picks up the right amount of warmth for my skin, and because I am using such cool foundation tones, I find that this really makes the warmth kind of pop back into my face. So it looks like I really over applied here, but you'll see in shortly I go in with my sponge and I blend everything out, and it looks perfectly natural. So and of course I was like, oh, I sure hope I blended this out, but I did, because I'm like, I can see like where my forehead is all splotchy. So the sponge again works wonders. The sponge works wonders. It's amazing to go over, like if you apply with a brush, make sure that you use a sponge on top. And I swear, it doesn't really matter which one you use. A lot of people swear by Beauty Blender, but I'm using a different one. I'm using a completely different sponge, and it's amazing. So for my blush, I'm going in with the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil in Cream Blush in Perfect. I believe it's called Perfectly Pink or Perfect Pink. And I'm just putting this on my cheeks and a little bit on my forehead and a little bit on my nose. Okay, so next I wanted to go in and just blur everything a tiny bit and then set it down because I feel like my face is looking really shiny right here. So I'm using the Makeup by Mario Surreaskin Soft Blur Setting Powder in 2 Neutral Light. This is probably my current favorite powder. I do have a lot of different powders that I really enjoy, but this is currently my favorite because, of course, it was in my fall Sephora haul, which I can link for you guys if you want to take a look at that. And again, like after, I think it was all throughout summer, I was really, really loving the pressed powders. Like I just couldn't get enough of them because they don't allow you to pick up that much product. But for winter, I really prefer the loose powder because it gives you that matte look. Okay, so now for the shadow. I do spend quite a bit of time on this, and you'll notice that in this look, I build up the blue a lot. I am using my Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette. It's like my favorite, probably one of my favorite palettes. And I think it's not so much the formula, which is still amazing, by the way, but it's more so the memory of when I was getting into buying Jeffree Star palettes. I first fell in love with them when he came out with the red palette, the coffin red one. and I didn't buy it right away. I think I bought that later, and Blue Blood was my first purchase, and I instantly fell in love with Jeffree Star's products. So I'm applying this as a halo eye, and I don't normally use this technique because my eyes are already really big. And so for me, I could actually get away with a cat eye probably easier than some people, but I don't tend to go that route. I usually do like lighter tones, like the sparkly tones on the inner corner, and then a medium tone on the lid, and then it gets darker towards the outer like edge of the eye, if that makes sense. And so I really want to play around with halo eyes more. And the fact that it was blue and gold, just I loved it so much. Like I thought it was the perfect color scheme. Okay, so something that I didn't show in this part of the video was I did add liner to the waterlines. It's the AM to PM gel liner in black by Lottie. It's something that I got in a Ipsy glam bag a long time ago. So I'm not really familiar with the brand, but I had it in my pencil case. So I was like, you know what? I need to use this because I want to use up my makeup. So I continued on lining the lower lash line with a dark blue shadow, and I will eventually blend it out with a lighter blue shadow. So you'll see here shortly. I think here I'm doing that now. So I'm adding like a little bit of a lighter shade, and it's more kind of sparkly, so it gives a little bit of differentiation from the top lash line. And this one didn't have enough, so we're adding a little bit more dark liner, lining shadow, I guess, and then we're blending it out with the brush. And so you can see on the right hand eye, I went a little bit like too linear instead of like more rounded at the corner. So I'm just going to clean that up with my nude shadow, and then we're just kind of rounding out the edge there a little bit. The next step, I'm going to add the gold shadow from the Natasha Denona Gold palette. This is a brand new palette to me as of, I think I got it in November, but it came out probably in fall time. And I'm adding this to the center, and I'm adding it with my finger. So you'll notice I add it with my finger for the biggest like punch, and then I go in with a brush after to kind of blend the edges into the blue shadow. So at first I was afraid that it would turn green, but that didn't happen. So you probably don't have to worry about that. And I would love to try this with a purple shadow. I think gold and purple would be good. I also think that silver goes with either blue or gold as well. So I think either of those, you probably couldn't go wrong. I think I've tried this with green. I can't remember, but I think it just looks so pretty. So we're going to continue blending. So I'm taking my concealer brush now, and I'm just blending that blue shadow up at the top, just so it's all evenly blended. And we're lining the upper lash line with the Too Faced Better Than Sex Black Liquid Liner. And it looks like I'm going crazy on my eye here, but really I'm just making like a fairly thin line. And this is for my false lashes to stick to better. So next I'm using highlighter, the Mary Lou highlighter by The Balm Cosmetics. And I'm going to highlight the inner corners of my eyes and the high points of my face. And this is probably the best feature, especially if you use like dark shadows to go in and highlight the inner corner of the eye. I highly recommend that. Okay, so here you go. You can see that I'm going in and highlighting the high points of my face. And I'm taking my blush brush just to kind of blend that highlight out of my cheek a little bit. I'm using the Morphe lip liner. And I think this is the shade Bite Me. It's either Love Bite or Bite Me. I can never remember. To darken my lips. And then for the lip gloss I'm using on top of that is the Huda Beauty Faux Filler lip gloss. I think it's like the pink sparkly one. I do not remember the name offhand, but it's the light pink sparkly shade. And it just looks really good. It kind of blends into the lip liner a little bit. And when I was looking back, I don't know if this was the right color pick for my lips with this eye look. I might have done something a little bit more neutral, a little bit less dark. And the last step is Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray by Charlotte Tilbury. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, please subscribe, click on the bell button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.